You earned more money this year than last year. You know this. The raises happened. The promotions happened. Maybe you switched jobs, picked up extra income, or got a bonus you actually used. And yet somehow, every month still ends the same way. A little short. A little stressed. A little confused about where it all went. No emergency happened. Nobody took it from you. You did not make one catastrophic decision. The math just quietly stopped working. That is lifestyle inflation. And most people living inside it right now have no idea it has a name. Let alone that there are 4 specific mechanisms driving it. 4 gears, turning on your finances right now, without ever announcing themselves. I am going to show you all 4. And the 4th one is the one that matters most, because it is the one that makes everything else permanent. It is the number almost nobody calculates. Once you see it, you will understand how 2 people can earn the same income for 30 years and end up in completely different places. After that, I will give you 3 tools to run against your own numbers. Specific tools, not vague advice. Let us start with the first gear. The first mechanism is the invisible upgrade. And the reason it is invisible is that it never feels like a choice. It feels like a correction. Here is how it works. You get a raise. Your income jumps, let us say from $65,000 to $85,000. And almost immediately, without ever sitting down to decide it, your brain begins a quiet audit. The apartment is fine, but it feels a little small for someone earning $85,000 now. The car is paid off, which is good, but it is 7 years old. The restaurants are decent, but there are better ones now. None of these feel like upgrades. They feel like adjustments. Like you were slightly underpaying for your life before, and things are simply becoming proportionate. That feeling is the trap. Because what your brain is doing, what it is designed to do, is quietly move the definition of normal upward with every raise. And it almost never moves that definition back down. Here is what the math actually looks like. And before I give you this number, let me warn you. It is the kind of number that reframes every raise you have ever gotten. A $20,000 raise that triggers $18,000 in new spending did not improve your financial position. It created $18,000 in permanent new obligations. Obligations that follow you to the next raise and recalibrate again from a higher floor. The apartment is a commitment. The car payment is a commitment. The subscriptions you quietly assembled are a commitment. And unlike the raise, which you could lose, the spending feels like the floor. Permanent, not optional. The upgrade felt like progress. It looked like progress. But the savings account at the end of the year told a different story. That is the first gear. Your brain reframes raises as corrections, not windfalls. But once your income moves up, something else moves with it. And this next one is almost impossible to resist because it does not come from inside you at all. The second mechanism is what I call the social mirror. Think about the last time you upgraded something in your life. A new apartment, a new car, a restaurant you started going to regularly. Now ask yourself honestly, how much of that was about what you wanted and how much was about where the people around you were. Here is the uncomfortable reality. You do not choose your lifestyle in isolation. You choose it relative to the people around you. And as your income rises, the people around you change. The colleagues, the neighborhood, the friend group. And each one brings a new baseline of normal. The colleague who orders the nicer bottle of wine, not to show off, just routine. The friends who plan a trip that requires a flight, not luxury, just a flight. The neighborhood where a certain kind of car is simply what people drive. And here is the part that matters. This is not a willpower problem. It is a wiring problem. For most of human history, staying in alignment with your group was a survival advantage. The brain reads belonging as safety, and slipping below your group creates real discomfort, not imagined, real. So when you raise your spending to keep up, it does not feel like a financial decision. It feels like a social one, and that makes it almost impossible to see clearly in the moment. Most people are not upgrading because they want more things. They are upgrading because not upgrading would mean visibly stepping below their group. That is, the second gear. And most people hear it and think, fine, I will just stop comparing myself to others. But the third gear does not care what you think. It already did its work the moment you got comfortable. The third mechanism is the one that makes lifestyle inflation almost irreversible. I call it the comfort ratchet. And the principle is simple. Comfort only moves in one direction. Before you have a comfort upgrade, it feels optional, a treat, something for special occasions. After you have it, it feels essential. And the life you lived perfectly well before it starts to feel like deprivation. You fly business class once, a work trip, not your money. But now coach feels worse than it did before. Not because coach changed, because your reference point did. You start using grocery delivery. It saves time. 3 months later, walking through a store on a Saturday feels like an imposition on your weekend. Every comfort, once it becomes normal, becomes the floor. It is no longer a luxury you chose. It is a baseline you maintain. And the next comfort stacks on top of it. Here is the number most people never see. Over the last 5 years, the average household absorbed roughly $3,600 more per year in convenience and subscription spending. And the research shows no measurable increase in happiness from it. The spending went up. The happiness did not. Because that is what the ratchet does. It raises the floor without ever raising the ceiling. You did not become extravagant. You just stopped noticing that the floor had moved. 3 gears, all turning at once. Each one invisible while it works. But none of them tell you the real cost. Because it is not what lifestyle inflation costs you today. It is what it costs you that you will never see. The fourth mechanism is not about spending at all. It is about what happens to the money that never gets spent. Most people see lifestyle inflation as a spending problem. And on the surface, it is. But the real damage is invisible because it happens in the future, in the form of growth that never occurred. Here is the calculation. $500 a month. That is not a dramatic upgrade. A slightly nicer apartment, a modest car payment, a few more delivery orders, a couple of premium subscriptions, $500 a month invested instead at an 8% average return over 30 years. That is $680,000. Not from a salary change, not from a business, from the $500 a month that was already coming in and got quietly absorbed by lifestyle instead of quietly compounding in the background. That is the real cost. Not the 500, the 680,000. And that is one upgrade. One click of the Ratchet. Most people make 5 or 10 of those across a career and never run the number on a single one. So here is the truth underneath all of it. Lifestyle inflation does not make you poor. It makes you exactly as financially fragile at $150,000 a year as you were at $60,000. Just with better furniture. Now, the framework. 3 specific tools. And the most important one is not the flashiest. It is the second one. Let me show you all 3. Tool 1, the income test. Most raises disappear within 18 months. Nobody plans to spend them. They just quietly get absorbed until the raise is gone and the lifestyle is permanent. The income test stops that before it starts. Every time your income goes up, before you touch your lifestyle, ask one question. If I send half of this increase straight to savings or investments and only upgrade my life with the other half, where do I stand in 10 years? You are not living on rice and water. You are just making the compound half non-negotiable before the spending half gets decided. The raise still improves your life. It just also improves your future. Tool 2, the necessity audit. The harder problem is not new spending. It is old spending that no longer makes sense, but never got questioned. Most people are paying for a lifestyle they chose 2 income levels ago. Once a quarter, pull up every recurring expense over $100. Go through them one at a time. And for each one ask, if I had never had this, would I specifically miss it, or have I just normalized it? Not, is it useful? Not, do I use it sometimes? Would you actually miss it? Anything you cannot defend gets 30 days of probation. You will be surprised how many things you never notice are gone. This tool works because it bypasses the ratchet. You are not removing a comfort and feeling the loss. You are asking whether the comfort was ever real in the first place. Tool 3, the lifestyle anchor. The first 2 tools work in the moment. But lifestyle inflation does not attack in moments. It attacks over years. This is the only tool built to work across time. Pick a version of your life, a previous income level, where you were functional, not suffering, not deprived, and anchor to it on purpose. Not as a permanent ceiling, as a baseline. Any upgrade above that anchor goes through one question before it becomes recurring. Is this worth the compound cost? Not the monthly cost. The compound cost. What does this become over 20 years? Most upgrades still survive that question, but some do not. And the ones that do not are usually the ones the ratchet normalized before you ever had time to think. That is the framework, the income test, the necessity audit, the lifestyle anchor. 3 tools, 1 outcome. Your raises start building the gap instead of disappearing into the floor. Here is the thing worth saying plainly before I close. Lifestyle inflation is not a character flaw. It is not laziness. It is not a failure to care about your future. It is a design feature of the world you live inside. The systems that profit from your spending are extraordinarily good at making every upgrade feel like the obvious next step. Like something you earned. Like something that simply matches where you are now. Because that is exactly what they were built to feel like. Awareness is the first part of the defense. The framework is the second. But the part that actually compounds is doing both. Consistently, before the next raise arrives and the cycle starts again. Because the goal was never to look wealthy. The goal was to become difficult to financially shake. I am Malcolm. This is Cost and Compound. Real wealth made simply. I will see you in the next one.